Let's say, when you see the certification campaign, right, I log in from this Bobby Stevens, right, that time I see 3 items. Sometime it happens. Right, you will see 200 or 500 access that you need to review. So generally, in that case, what we do, simply as a human tendency, we simply select all those access and simply in one go we select, approve write and submit, or remove and submit. Generally, we do, approve write. Okay, let's approve it. Fine, right, let's, reduce our header. So that option is there, but you can turn on and turn off here. So this is basically a behavior, how Sailpoint certification will behave with end user, with the certifier, with the user whose access will be reviewed. So how you want to change those behavior that you can configure here. So okay, I'll give you one document in which you can see this meaning of this. Basically based on the client customer requirement. We simply come here and turn on and turn off this feature. Okay, that's a little forwarding, right, like something. Like I delegate some item to you, right, but I want to stop you that you cannot follow this item, probably to someone. So this kind of option you can configure. Last one is important, advance. Advance simply give you some additional control on your access review process. Right, and majorly too. First one is exclusion. Second one is pre-delegation. This is the one. If you see, pre-delegation okay, and the exclusion. What is this exclusion? So in your certification review, right? We generally don't launch certification user for a review for the specific user. We always launch it for the mass audience, like all the managers, all the user, who has account on the finance application? Who has account on the actual data application? This is how we always use this certification campaign. Now, when we are launching a certification campaign for a mass user, right, it is. It happened, right, that some user we know that their access should not be reviewed. Right, for example, VP, CEO. Right, those kind of people we never want to disturb by sending them any email or, revoking their access, even by mistake, right? So exclusion tool is a one property through which you can write a code here and you can configure like which particular user you want to exclude from the access review process. Okay, I show you this code how it actually works. So by default, you will not see anything here. You have to click here in this now. You have to write a Java here. Right. Simple example is, if you see this entity, right, the abstract certificate. This is either a manager attribute or bundle, right? So let's say example. What we have to do is, if entity.getName, let's say name equals to Pickshaw. Okay, then. Do not include a picture account in access review. So what we have to do? We have to do two things. Here you'll see items and items to exclude. So we have to remove items. Items and items to exclude. Both are a list array list. If you click here you will see that list file. Okay. Items. List of certifiable item that are currently part of the certification for this identity item. Exclude again list of certifiable item that should not be included in this certification. So what we'll do from the items? We'll simply do this. Remove. You have to call the list method, Java list method. Remove your entity. Name the current entity. You can simply pass this, and same time you have to add this into items. To exclude. Okay, add, that's it now, basically what we are doing. This list contains those items which will be reviewed, which will be included in the review process, right. If we want to exclude something, right, we have to exclude from this list and we have to put inside this list. So Sailpoint will automatically check. Okay, this is what item we need to exclude from the access review. So now, in this case, what will happen? Whenever entities like the particular item name will match with the application, what will happen? Say, this code will execute this if condition will execute. It's what we are doing here. We are removing your access from the items or remove entity, and we are putting items to exclude, add, so it should be .write.add, and putting your identity name. So here what will happen, your identity will not be included in this whole access review process. This is called exclusion. Your voice is very low. Your entity's role, name or any entitlement. Yeah, so if you see this right, you cannot judge that what access will be reviewed. Right? For example, we are reviewing your role only. We are reviewing your account only. We are reviewing your entitlement only, right? So entities are generic object. Okay. Because this rule is a generic. Basically, this code is generic, but what contain we will include, right, that will be in. We have to configure in the basic page, right, what we want to. Include in the access review process. This is the whole purpose of exclusion rule. I'll give you an easy sample so you understand. And same time. This is most widely used customization on the your certification. Even I have did you know different kind of very complex certificate in a customization? But when it comes to access review, I always said that I have only done two type of customization, your exclusion rule and the pre-delegation. Because this is most widely used and other one will confuse you, because this behavior also change. On the data also right because, we have this rule, logic can be used for different type of access, review application owner certification, manager, owner certification, advanced certification, some custom data. Right, so they might, put you in a different, complicated state, a state right, when you start telling about the different component of the access review. So always go with when you're doing interview, right, always go with the original default process of the access review and how we have used, your exclusion rule or the pre-delegation rule, because ultimately you will be writing only these two. Okay, this is your exclusion rule symbol. Now one more, which is again widely used, pre-delegation, and the concept is again same, those items which we want not to assign to the managers or senior managers. CEO VP right. We want to immediately delegate that instead of, they will log in and they will delegate manually. Let's say we have a data right. Based on that, we want to delegate it, so we'll simply use this option to delegate. I can show you one rule for this exclusion and the pre-delegation, most probably in the next class. I'll show you how can you use that. There are actually some sample I can provide you mostly that sample will fit your customer requirement. Work items. What is work items? Any items which require a manual intervention, right? Like, for example, your approval example access review example form. All this required manual intervention. Right approval will be also done by some human person. Right access review again will be, done by a human person. So in general Sailpoint call those all the items called work item. Okay, so that admin can see all those work item. For example, this manager access review is triggered if you see access review manually. Access review for Russell Spencer. Owners, Rachel Spencer. If you click here in the view, or, let's say, click on the I information you created. This is retail forwarding is to know forwarding history view. You see, this is the for the shell. These are the access that Rachel needs to review right now. Let me forward to myself, because how can I forward this using this button, and because of I'm a super admin here, so I have this option is visible to me. So let's say I forward to myself SP admin. Forward now the owner. I'm the owner, and if you see, you will see the history here. So Sailpoint always, collect all the data that we use, any operation that we configure, so you can keep track of each and every item. So now I'm the owner of this, I'm responsible to take action on this, right? So, same way, we have different work items here. If you see here, you will see that option here. Filter type, you can have access review, you can have approval, you can have challenge, you can have delegation, you can have form in which you have to add some data, manual actions, and manualization there, policy volition. Okay, sign off. So all this are called access? In general it's called work items. Work item is what in which manual action is required. Someone needs to log in into system and they need to take some action. That is called work item. Right, so access review is also work item. Okay.